Hello, my name is Cindy Perez. For this project, I have chosen the children's book, The Miraculous Journey of Edward Tulane by Kate DiCamillo. The protagonist, Edward Tulane, is a vain China rabbit whom had not developed the capacity to experience love. He is initially owned by Abigail Tulane, until being separated from both her and his symbolic pocket watch. Throughout his journey, he meets various characters that influence his journey and character progression, of whom I will be applying some Freudian and Jungian theories. I will also be exploring character Pellegrina, who amongst other things foreshadows using the story of the princess and the warthog, a tale of the princess who is unable to love despite being universally adored. The Miraculous Journey of Edward Tulane. Here are some visual representations of Jung's archetypes. Today I will be applying some of these archetypes to the story: the trickster, the self, the shadow. I will now describe how the story evolves with these archetypes. First, I will analyze the trickster. Trickster assists individuals to incorporate the shadow to find creative energies for growth. The tricksters draw Edward into difficult situations that ultimately lead him to his final transformation. Martin and Amos, by throwing Edward off the ship and separating him from Abigail, inadvertently start him on his journey. Lolly jealously discarded Edward because of his happiness with Nellie and Lawrence, forcing him to continue his transformation process. Neil the cook, when Bryce couldn't pay for the dinner, he came outside and broke Edward, ultimately leading Bryce to strike a deal with the shopkeeper and repair him to his original state. As such, the trickster, in line with Jung's definition, has advanced our protagonist through his journey and forced growth. Next, I will be analyzing the self. The self anticipates the development of a more well-rounded, balanced self. Edward loses his pocket watch at the beginning of his journey, through which he transformed from a vain, uncaring rabbit into one capable of loving, caring, and listening to others. Years later, in the story's conclusion, he was reunited with Abigail and in turn his pocket watch. By this time, he had developed his character and discovered his capacity to love. Finally, I will analyze the character in the story representing the shadow. The shadow refers to the aspects of the psyche that are rejected from the consciousness by the ego, because they are inconsistent with one's self-concept. Represented by Pellegrina, each time Edward has felt that he has seen her has marked an important step in his transformation. As stated by ChangingMinds.org, counters with it as an aspect of the subconscious may reveal deeper thoughts and fears. In conclusion, Jung's archetypes are applicable to this story throughout and also brings us onto some Freudian concepts. Defense mechanism, projection, involves individuals attributing their own thoughts, feelings, and motives to another person. Edward exhibits this defense mechanism with Pellegrina. He refers to her throughout the story as the witch, and regularly displays paranoid thoughts that she is watching and mocking him. Pellegrina is symbolic as his shadow. He can be said to be projecting hatred and disappointment onto her because, should he realize he was capable of love, he would be left vulnerable. Another prevalent and applicable Freudian concept is the oral stage. This is the first psychosexual stage of development, occurring from birth to about the age of 1. Depicted through the character Sarah Ruth, she develops this fixation by sucking on Edward Tulane's ears. As her mother wasn't present, there is a possibility that her infantry needs were not met. This then brings us on to the collective unconscious. The collective unconscious, a deep layer of the unconsciousness shared by everyone despite difference in personal experiences. This is depicted through the various relationships Edward makes throughout. Love and care is represented as the unconscious urges in all these humans, as well as in this doll. Examples of the relationships and their significance include Lawrence and Nellie. Edward needed to be shown love and care while they needed someone to love and take care of. Bull and Lucy, while they were searching for a new companion, people in the camps they traveled through came to recognize and to confide in Edward the names of their loved ones. Continuation. Freudian and Jungian theory. According to Freud, the unconscious represents a mental process of which a person is not aware. According to Jung, the black side and shadow feature may be also equaled with the Freudian personal unconscious. It comprises everything one repressed because it is rejected by his superego. This is comparable to the shadow in Jungian theory, where thoughts from the consciousness are also repressed from the psyche. Finally, here's a list of citations for your reference. Thank you for watching.